On February 22nd in Miami, when Kanye first debuted Donda 2 to a live audience, fans could not have known that two of the more standout tracks, Get Lost and Broken Road, were originally one in the same. It's weird to think about considering the Get Lost Kanye played at the LP was essentially just his rough vocals with no instrumental, while Broken Road had a fully finished verse and feature hook from Don Toliver over wicked Mike Dean guitar production. So how could these two songs have come from the same place if one was worked on to be fully finished and the other was in such a rough state? The truth lies in the radically different development paths each song took throughout their short lifespan. So let's get right into breaking down the entire history of Get Lost and Broken Road. These tracks both began from the same origin point, which is Kanye's original freestyle vocals that he did over a much earlier Broken Road instrumental. We unfortunately don't have the true OG file for this freestyle, but we at least know what it sounded like based on the next couple iterations of the song. After doing his own rough vocals, Kanye had rapper Fat Money do a reference track as he did with a lot of the other Donda 2 songs. Fat Money recorded over what is likely the same early beat Kanye did, and the instrumental at this point in the song's life sounds similar to the finished Broken Road one, but definitely different. It features backing choir vocals, and Fat Money essentially does a finished reference for Kanye's original rough lyrics, which would later be repurposed for Get Lost after the two song concepts were split.
How did we fall behind? My GPS is fine. I still get lost sometimes. God gave me all my shine. This little light of mine. God wake me up sometime. I'll be your Frankenstein.
Following this, Don Toliver recorded freestyle vocals over a Mike Dean produced beat titled Nothing Wrong, but we unfortunately do not have audio of this original Don take. However, his vocals would be taken from this freestyle and used to create the first full version of Broken Road and Get Lost together. This early combination of the two songs featured Don Toliver's hook and extra lines from his original freestyle that would be cut in future versions of Broken Road, along with Kanye's cut up Get Lost freestyle at the end. I believe these Kanye vocals come straight from his original take, so that's why I said we have a good idea of the sound of that initial freestyle, because it's basically just his rough Get Lost vocals from here over the Fat Money reference instrumental. The song also sported some really sick new production from Mike Dean, including drums and some electric guitars that fit the theme so well. And finally, Kanye also enlisted female vocalist Shenseea, who worked on Donda 1 in 2021, to do some lines as well that would end up being inserted alongside Don Toliver's extra intro vocals on this version of the song.
I don't see nothing wrong with loving you, but I won't be the fool. You ain't have to choose. I might make a move when it pay my dues. What does it mean to you?
I'm not the type to do what they say. I get up every day, food on my plate. I am the type, if I feel like it's right, I'ma do it my way. I am the type, I'm gonna pray, God never fail me. I feel the same way, even when I'm in the rain, yeah.
I did what's right for me. I fought the fight for me. Well, I would like to see. I get lost sometimes.
Following this, the two songs would be split straight down the middle, with Don Toliver's vocals and the instrumental being donated to Broken Road and Kanye's vocals being donated to Get Lost. After splitting the two songs, Kanye found himself with some pretty decent rough vocal ideas for Get Lost, but now without any semblance of an instrumental, as it had stayed with Don Toliver's vocals and the Broken Road concept. The very first unique beat created for Get Lost came from Corey Henry, who Kanye enlisted to lay down some initial production ideas. Corey added a lot of stuff, but it was all pretty subtle, and he left Kanye's vocals at the forefront of the song while he layered the background with choir and basic synths. You can tell right from the get-go that Kanye wanted Get Lost to be more minimal, considering how bare bones both this initial production idea and the Miami listening party versions were.
I still get lost in that memory back on mine. Remember we had one night. Remember we had the night. I still get lost sometimes. Memories hard to mind.
After Corey Henry, Kanye got producer Boy Wonder to really crank up the production while still trying to honor the minimalistic arrangement style that Kanye was envisioning for Get Lost. Boy Wonder ended up doing 2 different versions of his production on the song, with only one of them leaking in full. On this full one, Boy Wonder added a backing synth pattern that matched Kanye's vocal pitch, along with some absolutely fire drums. I gotta say, I know Kanye really wanted Get Lost to be minimal and bare bones, but Boy Wonder's drums on this version are actually insanely good. The second version he did that we only have a snippet of sounds somehow more wild than the full one, with it sporting a crazy synth arpeggio and different backing synths along the way with totally overhauled drums.
Get lost sometimes. Memories hard to mind. Remember we had the mind. Remember we had the mind. I ain't gon' get lost sometimes. Remember we popped from time. I went to final five.
Inside.
I just go
Inside. Inside.
Following Boy Wonder's contributions, Kanye let Digital Nas go absolutely crazy, with him adding his own unique production to Get Lost in the form of an interesting 808 sub-bass pattern. This is literally the only thing Digital Nas added to the song, and it's definitely cool to hear, but maybe would not have fit with the song's final vision. Honestly, this is a W for Digital Nas, cause he usually completely butchers a song if he's brought in later on to add production.
He's back from fine. Back to get on my mind. I'll still get lost from time. Memory back from time. I still get lost in my.
Of course, if it's a Donda 2 song, it has to have a Beach House version, and their changes to Get Lost were definitely interesting. They took things way more minimal in comparison to Digital Nas and Boy Wonder, basically just utilizing Kanye's raw vocals with reverb and delay, and a short backing synth that comes in at the very end of the song. It seems Kanye was having a hard time deciding whether to go maximalist or minimalist with Get Lost, so he continued shopping around with other producers to get more ideas and more eyes on the song.
I've got a pop to shine.
Producer Evax, also known as Evan Mast, did 2 unique production versions of Get Lost similar to Boy Wonder, with him adding a new bass melody along with fresh drums. Both of these versions are extremely similar, with them both sporting the new drum pattern and pitch-matched backing synths. I think Evan brought a lot of cool concepts to the song here, like his drums and the arrangement with the instrumental cutting out, but long-term Kanye did not end up keeping these changes. Although interestingly enough, these versions of Get Lost included 2 unheard lines from Kanye's Freestyle that are actually finished, so I don't know why those went unused on other versions.
If not, then never mind. I still get lost sometimes. Running the place to mine. I can't replace the time. I'll just go 8 to 9.
Following that, on February 13th, 2022, Kanye enlisted John Cunningham to give his unique view of Get Lost. It seems John took the song back to a minimalist vibe, not doing any drums at all, basically only contributing a haunting background flute synth. This kind of reminds me of the long synth that Beach House used, so I'm curious if this was a direction that Kanye gave them, like try to work in a long unchanging background synth at certain points in the song.
Memories hard to mind. Remember we had the mind.
After that, on February 14th, Kanye had OG Volta take a stab at Get Lost, with them more so taking things away from the song rather than adding things. This version of Get Lost is purely Kanye vocals with the amazing reverb and delay, with no semblance of an instrumental in sight. No drums, no synths, just vocals. It seems this iteration of the song really stood out to Kanye because this is essentially the version that he debuted in Miami, just his vocals with basically 0 beat.
Okay, then never mind. Do I still cross your mind?
While he might have really liked OG Volta's minimalist version for the song, it seems Kanye wasn't quite sold on giving up the potential for cool drums on Get Lost, with him having producer Apex Martin do unique production for the song on February 17th, 2022. Along with brand new drums that I will say sound super sick, Apex Martin contributed a short beep in the background reminiscent of the one from release Jonah, but if it was done well.
Remember we had one night. Remember we had the night. I still get lost sometimes. Memories hard to mind. Remember we had the night. Remember we had.
Then on February 19th, Kanye continued to funnel producers onto Get Lost, with him having MWA music affiliate Sean Solomar do his own unique drums for the song. These are again pretty cool, and I like Sean Solomar's ideas, but these sound kind of sterile compared to the other artists' drums we've heard on the song. I would say Boy Wonder and Apex Martin's drums both sound better than Sean Solomar's if we were considering all three of them for an official release.
I went to final find when you was mine, all mine. Dump up them meats. Now you picked out the streets. I'm done without them.
Up until now, Kanye's vocals had literally been the exact same since he recorded the freestyle, despite him already having the Fat Money ref that he could have used to finish his previous vocal take. Instead of re-recording, he instead got artists Pop Lord and Shenseea to record reference tracks for Get Lost. Pop Lord recorded his on February 19th, with Shenseea recording hers sometime after that because she actually recorded over Pop Lord's reference.
Come, let's get lost in time.
When them not real, them fake.
So my days are short.
Don't pay no mind to none of the trend
Love
them.
and has no time.
I hear them to walk in a bush.
Remember we had this life.
I didn't come here to lose.
I still get lost in time.
I didn't come here to lose.
Memories cloud my mind.
No turning back time.
On Donda we could rely.
When scars heal, things will be
That's
fine.
all I had sometimes.
Things will be
We
fine.
both get lost sometimes.
Finally, Kanye made up his mind on Get Lost, basically tossing out every single thing he had developed so far for the final version of the song. He did not re-record his vocals using the Shenseea, Pop Lord, or Fat Money reference, and he also did not utilize any unique production on the final versions of the song worked on. Before the iteration that was played at the Miami party was made, Kanye had OG Volta re-chop up his original freestyle to include some extra lines, similar to the previous Evan version, although those would be removed before February 22nd when Kanye debuted the song to the public in all its minimalist glory.
If not, then never mind. I still get lost sometimes. Running the face to mine. I can't replace the time. I'll just go 8 to 9.
So that's the full development of Get Lost, with it going in all sorts of directions, but ultimately ending up where it started with minimalism. But how does that creative path differ from Broken Road? Well, let's take a look at what Kanye did to Broken Road after he split it off from Get Lost. After the song was made into its own concept, Kanye was just left with the Mike Dean produced beat and Don Toliver's vocals, which he gave to Twilight Tone to see what they could be turned into. Tone ended up using only Don's hook and changing up the overall production of the song to sound way more in line with the finished Broken Road that we know. Tone really only utilized the backing synth and the electric guitar while adding a new vocal sample in the back that sounds quite cool, but really we have Twilight Tone to thank for transforming Broken Road into its own song after it was split from Get Lost.
What does it mean to find your soul? Paid the toll on a broken road.
Moving forward, Kanye then got Digital Nas to do unique production for Broken Road, with him once again contributing some very interesting ideas. Nas ended up looping Don's hook instead of just playing it once, and he did not utilize the Twilight Tone and Mike Dean guitar. If it's Digital Nas production, of course he's gonna do his own drums, and these are definitely some drums, that's for sure. Let's just say there's a reason none of Digital Nas's contributions here got carried over to future versions of Broken Road.
What does it mean to
Following this, on February 11th, Kanye decided he needed to get some new vocal ideas for the song if he was going to end up doing a verse for it down the road. To achieve this, Kanye gathered 5 of his reference writers, having them all record vocal ideas over Broken Road at this point in its life. These 5 writers were Malik Yusuf, Pop Lord, Fireman, Cortland Jabray, and Eli Evnan. Along with these vocals, Don Toliver's hook is used, and the song has some wild new production that we aren't quite sure who contributed. I gotta say, I really love these drums, and this is probably the best drums done for Broken Road of any version, so it sucks we don't know who made them.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel. No, not for me. Wow. Jesus, take the wheel on this relationship. Bought you Hermes luggage, ain't that a trip? Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere.
On a broken road, what does it mean?
Tears tell walls in the sky. Wonder why I don't cry. Frozen fire blocks our words. Silent screams left unheard. Space ain't shit without the stars. You ain't shit without me. We ain't shit without me. Till then I'll be wilding. It's a brand new moon and I'm howling.
After this, it seems Kanye wanted one more solid finished vocal reference for Broken Road, with him having I'll Be Back record for the song, again over some new drums and unique production.
One of their writers could try to go and put your career in a coffin. Talk about my family and you're bound to be my enemy. Come get charged for influencing this energy. We got homes for Stockholm celebrities. My style's free, but I'm writing right in front of everything. I'm lightning striking beaches, Tyson, Jordan, Jesus.
With all of this development done on the song, you would think surely Kanye had enough work to retool and fully realize Broken Road's concept as a song. Well, after having tons of hands on the track, Kanye finally sat back and ironed out the final version of Broken Road. For the beat, he kind of went with the Get Lost route, opting for the more minimalistic backing synth that had been present in all versions of the song so far. He also got brand new drums made for this final iteration of Broken Road that would be debuted at the listening party, along with, of course, an absolutely fire new finished verse. Now, this finished Kanye verse on Broken Road is probably the most confusing part of either of these songs' developments, because none of the references recorded sound like this verse. So either Kanye had someone else do a reference with this flow and cadence that hasn't leaked yet, or he just completely made it up himself, although I find that extremely unlikely. Regardless, I'm glad that he at least recorded finished vocals for one of Get Lost and Broken Road, although Get Lost really deserved a re-recorded take before it was played in Miami.
Tired of dirt, and I ain't gonna lie, get tired of splurging. Love isn't perfect, love is a version of being a virgin again. I was told, it's how you interpreted it.
Well, there you have it, the entire creative development path Kanye took for making Get Lost and Broken Road. From their humble beginnings as sharing the same concept to being fully fledged individual songs, I think it's super interesting how Kanye ended up settling on the finished sounds for both tracks. Get Lost went from being super fleshed out to literally having zero instrumental, while Broken Road had very few changes made overall to its beat, showing how satisfied Kanye was with it from the beginning. Regardless, I really do think both of these are standout tracks from Donda 2, and being able to appreciate where they came from and how they ended up being separated really gives great insight into Kanye's creative development. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments which song you think has the better unused production, Get Lost or Broken Road.